Have you ever looked at a tin of tomato soup and thought, you know what this needs? Frosting. Yeah, me neither. But apparently Americans in the 1940s did, and they didn't just think it, they baked it. So today we are making tomato soup cake, a recipe that sounds like a practical joke, but was actually a national sensation. Will it taste like warm ketchup, or will it actually be delicious? Stick around to the end because we're going to be finding out exactly how this bizarre cake holds up in 2025. All right? Let's get weird. So how did this recipe come about? Well, Campbell's Soup Company started publishing recipes in the 1920s to promote their products. Somewhere in between the marketing team and the Housewives of America, someone said, let's bake with soup. Yep, this was a real recipe. The logic was that the soup added moisture, a touch of sweetness and acidity, kind of like using applesauce or buttermilk in modern baking. By the 1950s, tomato soup cake had become a proper household classic. It was kind of the Pinterest viral recipe of its time, but instead of influencers, it was church ladies and Tupperware parties, which kind of sounds like fun. So here we are, 80 years later, about to bake soup into a cake. So wish me luck. Here's what we're working with, and yes, I promise this isn't a joke. We need 1 can of condensed tomato soup. We don't really have Campbell's in the UK, so I'm using Heinz, which is one of our most common soups over here. I did do some research and it said this was a 1-to-1 ratio, so fingers crossed. We also need plain flour, both sugars, so caster sugar and brown sugar, butter, eggs, baking powder and bicarbonate of soda, cinnamon, nutmeg, and ground cloves. So it's kind of like a spice cake, which I really like. And then optionally raisins. I tend to like raisins in a cake, not so much walnuts, so hopefully this will make it taste a little bit nicer. I also got some salt, because I feel like salt makes a cake taste nicer too. And I wasn't sure whether they used salted or unsalted butter, so maybe we'll add a pinch of salt too. First step of our cake, we need to mix the dry ingredients into one bowl. So I'm gonna add in the flour. We need 2 cups or 260 grams. Then we're gonna add in our bicarbonate of soda. So 1.5 teaspoons of this. 1. That's about half. And then the baking powder. So 1 teaspoon of this. This is gonna make our cake rise. Both of these are. Then adding in ground cinnamon. A teaspoon of that. I love cinnamon in cake. This is kind of feeling like carrot cake in a sense, but with tomato soup instead of carrots. Oh my gosh, that's so strong. 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. There we go. 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. This is something I rarely use. Oh wow, that's really strong. It smells gingerbready. So just 1/4 teaspoon of that. And then I'm also gonna add in about 1/4 teaspoon of salt as well. I'm gonna clean this. I don't want cloves in my salt. There we go. So just whisking these all together until they're combined. Smells really good. Nothing weird here just yet. Okay, perfect. Now I'm gonna set this aside and grab another bowl. Now in another bowl, we're gonna beat together the butter, the caster sugar, and the light brown sugar until light and fluffy. So it's 1/2 cup of butter, or 115 grams. In that goes. 1 cup or 200 grams of caster sugar. I'm sure granulated would also be fine. And then 1/2 cup or 100 grams of light brown sugar. I'm gonna do this with an electric whisk for ease. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. So far, this could still be a normal cake. Nothing suspicious. Until this part. We're gonna add in our soup. So let me just open this tin. Don't judge me by using this, by the way. It protects my nails. It's a really good contraption. I'd recommend. See, look how easy that was. So this tin is 400 grams and I need 300 grams. So I'm gonna weigh out 300 grams. It smells so tomatoey. Oh, 304. That'll be fine, won't it? I can't believe I'm about to pour tomato soup into my cake batter. Somewhere, Mary Berry just fainted. Okay, here we go. It looks so bad. Okay, trust the process. There's 4 grams in there, isn't there? Okay, let's mix it in. It looks gross. It's got all like bitty. Okay, that looks horrible, but something in me really wants to try it. In my head, I'm like, how bad can soup, butter, and sugar be? I'm gonna do it. It can be bad. It can be bad. It just doesn't taste right. Now we're gonna add in our eggs, vanilla, and our dry ingredients. No shell, we're safe. A teaspoon of vanilla extract because that's gonna make it all better. That's about a teaspoon. And our dry ingredients. And let's whisk it up. That actually doesn't look that bad now. It's starting to look more like cake batter. I'm just gonna scrape the edges. Make sure we get all the flour mixture in. It still smells like tomato soup though. Perfect. Now let's add our raisins. I mean, if we're going weird, we might as well commit to it. Let's fold these in. Delicious. Okay, that looks interesting. Let's transfer it into a tin now. So I'm gonna line my tin. I'm using a almost 9-inch tin. It's about 8.5 inches. This is my little hack for getting a really snug fit in your tins, by the way. As long as you have 2 tins of the same size, it works perfectly. Ta-da! And now let's pour in our cake batter. It is so orange. It's giving pumpkin. Just level that out a little bit. Quite a lot of cake batter, you know. Hopefully my tin is big enough. Okay, now it says to bake it for 35 to 40 minutes at 160 degrees fan or 180 degrees without a fan, or 350 Fahrenheit if you're in America. All right, guys, this is our cake fresh out of the oven. It doesn't look that bad, does it? It's actually come out really well. It's kind of giving carrot cake / red velvet cake at this point. Don't know what it's gonna taste like, but I'm gonna let it cool and I'm gonna make a frosting for it. it actually looks really moist. We'll ice it upside down. Now, traditionally, people used a simple sugar glaze, but we're gonna do a cream cheese frosting because if there's one thing that America does well, it's frosting. So just soften butter, soften cream cheese, icing sugar or powdered sugar, and a bit of vanilla extract. Add in half a cup of unsalted butter, or 115 grams, and 225 grams of cream cheese, again softened. I think that is 8 ounces. In American language. Let's beat these two together. Beautiful. And then I'm gonna add in our icing sugar. I'm gonna add it half at a time. Makes it easier to combine that way, and it means it doesn't go everywhere. And then the rest of it, this will be 250 grams in total, or 2 cups. Workout. And I'm just going to add in our vanilla as well, about 1 teaspoon. Perfect. That's the end of my vanilla. Just whisk that in. Cake is cooled. I'm going to transfer it onto this plate here. So let me flip it like that. Ooh! Okay, it's kind of stuck. It's fine. Actually, a very moist cake. Okay, she's safe. Let's ice it. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. Something tells me we don't need this much frosting, but my heart says we need this much frosting. That looks good to me. Okay, let's slice it up and taste it. It's really soft. Why does that look so good? It's so orange as well. Okay, the moment of truth. I really want this to taste good, but I just don't think it's going to. All right, let's do it. Wait, what? That is actually good. Like, actually really good. I can't taste the soup at all. I'm gonna try a bit without the frosting. It's so good. The texture of this cake is amazing. It's giving carrot cake, but without the texture of the carrots. It's spiced, it's sweet, it's almost like a little bit sticky as well. Oh my gosh. I would 100% make this again. I'm so impressed. So I guess I owe 1940s America a bit of an apology because they were really onto something here. This is definitely proof that you can make dessert out of literally anything if you're desperate enough. Would I make it again? Honestly, yes, but I'd probably give it a different name. Maybe like spiced mystery cake, although I don't know if people would trust that either, to be totally honest. But if you told someone that this was made with tomato soup, they'd think you'd lost the plot. So on that note, that is the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and let me know what other strange historical desserts you want me to try next. Maybe vinegar pie or jello salad or something even weirder. Go wild. Until then, see you in the next one. Bye.